Hi, this is Natalie Rice from SBRpicks.com. American Pharoah had an incredible performance at the Preakness Stakes and cashed easily for sports bettors who backed the Colts to win. Now still alive, the Triple Crown prop bets headed into the Belmont Stakes on June 6th. Joining me now to discuss the Belmont Stakes and possible Triple Crown is SBR sports writer Jay Price. Now, Jay, since affirmed in 1978, there has not been a Triple Crown winner. That is one incredible drought. What's your view on what has caused the Triple Crown to be so elusive in the past almost 4 decades?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons, I think. But, for me, it boils down to kind of 2 reasons, and they both kind of go hand in hand with one another. I would say first and foremost, though, just, kind of the training patterns and the race frequency of the modern thoroughbred is just a lot different than it was, 6, 7, 8 decades ago. You have to look at the Belmont as a very unique race because it's carded at 1.5 miles on the dirt, which you just don't see that much in American racing anymore. Because of this and the success of certain trainers starting around in the 1980s, like D. Wayne Lucas and Bob Baffert, who came out of this kind of quarter horse racing background where there's an emphasis on speed and shorter distances and such. The training patterns have shifted tremendously, and they're not really conducive to stamina conditioning, if you will. In the 1930s and 40s, it was not uncommon to see a horse, gallop 2+ miles a day and breeze 3 or 4 times a week on the track, and with today's training patterns, you're lucky, I guess the standard is about 1.5 mile gallop, and 1 breeze a week is about average. In addition to this, just like the racing frequency has gone down, which has caused a decrease in the stamina required to meet that distance. Horses back in the day in the 30s and 40s, they would race at a rate of every 10 to 14 days versus the modern thoroughbred, which races every 3 weeks. And you get into some of these black type horses, they're racing it every 4 and 5 weeks, if that. So these kind of conditions have kind of hurt, I think, particularly since 1978 in Affirm's last win, kind of hurt any favorites going into the race to kind of meet this distance. In addition to this, I would also say breeding too. I think even for people who aren't regular horse players, that they're aware that speed has been, kind of the dominant force in modern breeding over the last 3 or 4 decades. So, again, we're seeing, the average winning distance of the most influential sires over this time period, is shrinking instead of going up. So here we have this kind of like exceptional race with exceptional circumstances, and we're kind of trending away from meeting those circumstances. So this might help, answer why the last 12 Triple Crown candidates are 0 for 12.
So the question is can American Pharoah end the drought and win the Triple Crown? The current odds are around -115 there.
I'd be a little bit skeptical. History tells us that probably it's a no. At odds at with implied probability of 53 to 54%, I would probably avoid. Typically the public and the market is very bullish on Triple Crown candidates. In fact, only 3 have gone over or gone off as post-time favorite above even money. So there's just not much value in it. I'm going to avoid him winning, and I think there's a lot of new contenders and former foes that he faced in the Kentucky Derby that might give him a little run for his money.
Mm-hmm. Well, American Pharoah is not only running against history, but other talented colts and jockeys who look to prevail at Belmont Stakes. Do you feel any other colt may be worth a bet, such as Frosted or Materiality?
Yeah, I think both of those horses are going to particularly challenge American Pharoah. Maybe Mubtahij as well, and maybe a new candidate that we're not even aware of yet. I mean, we're still a little less than 3 weeks away, but Frosted worked out the other day. He looked to get across the track pretty well, and he has a good running style that sets up for the longer distance of the Belmont. And Materiality, I mean, he's fast as could be. He got an awful trip in the Derby, was full of run at the end, and probably needed that seasoning as such a young, lightly raced horse in the Derby. And I'll be interested to see, what kind of race he pulls out if he enters the Belmont.
And how far in advance of the Belmont Stakes do you advise wagering for our viewers?
Oh, I would just wait till the day of. I mean, there probably won't be too much price movement on American Pharoah, and so much could happen in between then and now. So, you know, there'll be value to be had on any winner other than American Pharoah, and I'll let the odds play out with the public before placing any bets.
All right then. Listen, thanks for joining us, and best of luck.